All right, and welcome back, guys. And holy crap, they just dropped a giant blog post about Vanguard Zombies, giving us so much information than we've seen before. Some of this has been leaked, some of this hasn't. We're going to go through, break down everything in this. There's information about there being no Easter eggs in the game right now, a bunch of the alternate covenant stuff, how the pack-a-punch is going to work, what the perks are going to do, how they're going to work. Like, no joke, this breaks down a lot of the stuff we're going to see and answering a ton of the questions. But this is massive. And like I said, usually in these rapid fire videos, the whole goal is to go through everything, get it all out as quick as possible. That way you can watch the video and then get back into game. And I'm going to try to go through this as quick as possible, but no joke, there is so much information here and I definitely want to cover it all for you guys. So just, you're going to have to give me a minute. This is going to be a fairly long video for a blog post video, but there's a lot in this. Your gameplay guide to Vanguard Zombies, and reading this off here, this is all old information. We're not going to break down through all this. Essentially, they're saying that this is what's coming back: the mystery box, pack-a-punch, perks, monkey bombs, and more. And the return of the crafting table, custom loadouts, armor, exfil systems from Black Ops Cold War. But we're also delivering entirely new fresh take on zombies in Vanguard, and there is a mountain of new gameplay systems to dive into. Let's get started. Then they talk about kind of the storyline and the artifacts and how it's going to work together. The fact that these are going to be the 4 field upgrades in the game. Each one of them is kind of connected with some sort of dark Aether entity, which is going to feed in with the whole storyline, which is really cool. So instead of bringing back operators, they're kind of giving us operators in the form of these dark Aether entities that's going to be tied with the field upgrade that we're using. So starting off with Dragon, spawns an ethereal explosive dealing massive damage to enemies who set it off. So that is the energy mind, which hopefully it's a lot more useful in this game. Then we've got the mask, cloaks you in the dark Aether, masking your presence for enemies for 5 seconds. So that's Aether Shroud. Then we've got the sword here, sparks a ring of ethereal flame to boost damage for everyone within its radius for 15 seconds. Then we've got the horn, summons a frigid vortex to enemies around you, slowing those that enter. So this is essentially Frost Blast, and these don't seem to have any additional upgrade tiers. So Ring of Fire is just going to be a 15-second long Ring of Fire that increases your damage. It's not gonna like attack the zombies that go inside of it. It's not gonna make it where you have a bottomless mag, none of that stuff. These are all just the basic tiers of it. New narrative voices. In addition to their gameplay benefits, these dark Aether entities will serve as in-game characters in their own right, and that's pretty much what I was saying above. They're gonna add a lot of voice lines to this and try to add the personality that we've seen in past zombie games and kind of tie them into these field upgrades. That way you get the best of both worlds of having operators and they can, you know, sell the whole bundle stuff and do that. Players can expect these operators, the entities, are bonded with a bit more, shall we say, expressive in their opinions compared to the more serious mil-spec tone of the operators in Black Ops Cold War. Although the setting of Vanguard Zombies may be brutal and disturbing, let's face it, we're all here to have some fun, and hopefully with that, they mean that they're going to have some fun with these voice lines. Back to the original World at War voice lines that we saw with like Rick Toffin and stuff, where they would break the third wall all the time, especially Dimsy, where he was like, "Get me a bag of chips." I really hope they have some fun with these voice lines, and I really hope that we really get to see some decent characters emerge, like, and we actually get kind of attached to these characters like we did with the original 4 all the way back in World at War. I'm kind of excited for that, and hopefully it does make the gameplay a little more interesting. Now we're talking about what I'm most concerned about in the game: the Altar of Covenants, 23 new field upgrades. In addition to the ever-changing gameplay space and increasingly difficult objective, the Altar of Covenant is our biggest innovations in zombies to date. Covenants offer powerful new abilities to equip your progress throughout the match, provided in exchange for new sacrificial heart loot item by completing objectives. And I'm not gonna lie, they say here that this is the biggest innovation zombies to date. This to me just seems like they took the tier system from Cold War, cut a lot out of it, and downgraded it quite a bit. This is just a watered down tier system is what it sounds like. So essentially, instead of being able to upgrade your tiers after getting the crystals like we were in Cold War, you're gonna have an RNG random chance to get some of these that you can then use for a temporary effect in one single game, which I'm not going to completely write it off. I will give it a try. They're saying it's going to be super innovative. I will test it out. We'll go in and fully see how it is, but it just seems like a rushed, cut down version of the tier system. The first one being Bloodlust. Melee attacks do more damage and heal you. So that was the tier 5 version of the melee in Cold War. Resurrectionist. Revive allies faster. So this is essentially going to be what Quick Revive used to be. Brain Rot. Chance to turn enemies to your side, which is still one of the more interesting things. I don't know if ammo mods are going to be in this game. Maybe we'll find out some more information later on, but brain rot's going to be a covenant. It's not going to be an ammo mod, so it makes me think that we're not going to see ammo mods in this game, just occasionally what would have been ammo mods in the covenant system. Cryo freeze, chance to slow enemies. Once again, this used to be an ammo mod. Death blow, critical kills, return bullets to the clip. That's pretty cool. Ammo gremlin, stowed weapons refill ammo from stock automatically. Used to be a mule kick tier. Dead accurate, conserve hits on the same enemy consecutive hits on the same enemy do more damage. Used to be one of the dead shot upgrade tiers. Splatterfest, enemy killed by explosions may explode. That's kind of cool. Unholy ground, deal more damage while stationary. Call the weak, deal more damage to slowed or stunned enemies. And then motherload, chance to keep equipment after using it. Once again, another mule kick tier. You can have up to 3 covenants at a time, and the selection of available covenants randomizes after each objective is completed, so you always have new specialists to choose from. Alternative ammo types, ATTs from previous games, have also been incorporated into the covenants for our best of both worlds, including such favorites as brain rot and cryo freeze. And that right there might have just confirmed it, is that they're saying alternate ammo types from previous games. So who knows, they might still have their own unique ones for this game, but I think alternative ammo types might have gone away with this game. Find your perfect build. By experimenting with different combinations of covenants, artifacts, and perks and weapons in each run, you'll create powerful new builds and discover personal strategies to help you survive farther into the next match. You might also find certain offensive-based combos may better suit your needs in solo matches, while other support-driven builds might work better in a full squad. The choice is always yours. And I mean, it does sound kind of cool. The only thing that really concerns me is how random is this going to be? If I have a certain build I want to run, is there a chance that I just don't get any of the cards that I want with that? But yeah, I guess we'll see. The true strengths of Covenant lies in their upgraded rarities. However, for example, while rare versions of Cult Weakness deals 50% damage towards stowed and stunned enemies, the legendary version can deal a whopping 100% base damage in addition to plus 100% critical damage. Combine that with Cryo Freeze and Dead Accurate, and you'll be shredding through zombies in no time, as long as you can hit targets and stay alive. So I mean, the idea of stacking all these together is cool, but once again, this is the same thing we had fun with in Cold War, except Cold War, it wasn't as limited as what it was here. All right, now moving into the perks. And like I said, guys, there's a lot in here, so we're just going to try to go through it as quick as possible. I know I'm kind of skimming when I'm reading and I'm skipping over some stuff. I'm just trying to get it really done. A new selection of upgradable perks. So here's the whole perk system and how it's going to work. As you complete more objectives and unlock new areas for it, you'll gain access to perk fountains containing brand new upgradable abilities. This perk system is entirely different from previous games, with all new theming to match the occult setting of Vanguard Zombies, offering a streamlined approach on the surface with deeper gameplay potential as you get deeper into the match. So here are all the perks and what they do. We've got the Fortitude, increases health, pretty much Juggernaut. We've got the Damage one, increases critical damage. That's Deadshot. We've got Vigor, boost health regeneration speed. This is Speed Cola. We've got Demonic Frenzy, boost reload speed, Speed Cola. And then we've got Ethereal Haste, boost movement speed. So these are our 4 perks. So they're essentially all of the ones that Cold War started with, except for Elemental Pop's not on here. But yeah, the same basic ones we had with Cold War, just a different name, different theme. For the first time in Zombies, the base tier of each perk will be free once you unlock access to it. So when you buy the perk for the first time, completely free, doesn't charge you whatsoever, and you'll be able to upgrade the perk to tier 4 in game. This is a shift from our out of the game skill tier system in Black Ops Cold War, offering new ways to invest your perk in real time as you play. Perks will offer powerful base stat upgrades to each tier, but they won't come cheap. Once you've activated the free tier 1 version of the perk, you'll need to pay 250 essence for tier 2, 5,000 for tier 3, and 750 for tier 4. Each upgrade will increase a specific base stat, with higher tiers providing bigger enhancements. As example, Fortitude provides plus 25% health at tier 1 and goes all the way up to 100 for a massive boost in survivability. And in other Zombies First, you'll keep the base level perks you've acquired so far when you're down, since the first tier is free, but be aware you'll also lose 1 tier from each of your perks, which can be devastating in high rounds. Remember, upgrading from tier 3 to 4 costs far more than going from tier 1 to 2, and you'll need to stack your upgrades carefully to avoid bankrupting your essence after you go down. So yeah, it's definitely really different here. but at the same time, it just feels like a stripped down version of Cold War. So yes, you have these tier systems. You don't buy them out of game, you buy them in game. So in game, essentially it'd be like Cold War, where if you went up to Juggernaut and you bought it, you'd get tier 1 Jug, and then you'd have to pay again for tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, which I don't necessarily dislike this idea. I kind of like that, but from what it sounds like is the tier system is just a very basic version. So what this is let's say you go up to Stamina and you buy Stamina Up. You're going to be able to run a little bit faster, and then you buy it again. You're going to be able to run a little bit faster than that. Then you're going to buy it a third time. You're going to be able to run a little bit faster, and then once you get tier 4, you're now going to have the full ability of Stamina Up. So what Stamina Up used to be, they've chopped into 4 parts, and now you get a part of Stamina Up, and you buy it incrementally till you've got the full perk. But it doesn't sound like it's going to be like Cold War, where each different tier upgrade does something completely different. It just kind of boosts what you used to do and makes it a little bit more. So Deadshot's going to allow you to do a little bit more damage for headshots. Jug's going to allow you to survive a little bit longer each time you buy it. Nothing like, you know, being able to shoot a zombie while you're down, reviving yourself, or Stamina Up, removing fall damage. It might, but I don't know, and it sounds interesting. I like the idea of it. I just don't know how the execution is going to be with it. It's definitely a massive change, and I kind of like the fact that you still lose your perks when you go down. You just lose a perk tier. So if you've got everything maxed out at tier 4 and you go down, now you're going to have everything at tier 3. Or if you have everything, you know, at tier 1 and you go down. So we'll have to do a little bit more testing with that, but it does sound interesting. Like, I like the core concept of it. I just wish that they changed up a little bit more than making the perk itself just a tiny bit better when you upgrade it. I wish it also gave you a few extra tiers of stuff to work with. So that right there is the entire perk section. All right, and next on the chopping block is Weapon Pack-a-Punch upgrades and tiers. With the addition of Covenants and other new gameplay elements in the mix, we've streamlined weapon upgrades while keeping Pack-a-Punch as crucial as ever. This time around, you'll need to loot chests, spin the mystery box, and watch for drops from powerful enemies at higher rounds to get your hands on additional weaponry. Instead of wall buys, you'll manually upgrade your weapon at the Pack-a-Punch machine once you've saved up enough essence. As usual, through the cost of start is now 7,500 essence. This is the first time in Zombies history where the Pack-a-Punch is not 5,000. I know we've had different Pack-a-Punch tiers that have also changed in price, like in Cold War, but this is the very first time the base tier is not 5,000. It is 7,500 for your first pack, 15 for your second, and 30,000 for tier 3. So it's essentially the same exact as Cold War, except it's not 500 to begin with. It's now 750. Weapon tiers are now defined by their Pack-a-Punch level, denoted by 4 colors. So white's unpack-a-punched, blue is Pack-a-Punch tier 1, purple's tier 2, and orange is tier 3. So they've gotten rid of the weapon tier system and integrated it with the Pack-a-Punch system, which is interesting. I don't really hate this. This is kind of meh to me. It's a neutral thing. It's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. There's no longer weapon tiers, so you're not going to have to worry about the whole salvage and upgrading weapons, which, I don't know, it doesn't really bother me too much that they got rid of that mechanic. I liked upgrading weapons in terms of the tierity, but it's definitely not a deal breaker either way. I'm not upset that it's gone. Also, new Vanguard Zombies pre-packed weapons. Wait, pre-packed weapons can drop from RB award from the mystery box. So it pays to keep an eye out for your next upgrade in the field. You're definitely going to need it as the rounds keep going up. So just like in Cold War, the higher round you go to, you're going to get higher loot options. You're going to be getting blue, orange tier weapons out of the box. Instead, this time, if it's an orange tier weapon, it's going to be completely maxed out. It's not going to be like in Cold War where you get an orange tier weapon. It's like, all right, this is a maxed out weapon. Now I got to pack it 3 times. No, that is a fully upgraded weapon. There's nothing else you have to do to it. That weapon's ready to go. It is at the max damage state it could be in, which, I mean, it's kind of cool. I like the fact of that. Now you don't got to worry about upgrading it. Once again, not a deal breaker either way, so it's pretty cool with that. Now we've got the custom and preset loadouts, and one thing I do want to confirm, via the leaked gameplay that's been going around, it has been pretty much confirmed that the riot shield cannot be used in zombies, and that seems like it's going to be the one weapon that can't be used in zombies. And using information that we got previously, we kind of hypothesized that. So yeah, the riot shield can't be used in zombies. Not huge news. We all kind of figured that was going to happen. Continuing from Black Ops Cold War, you'll have the ability to bring custom loadouts into Vanguard Zombies. This allows you to customize a starting primary or secondary weapon, the artifact you want to take into battle, If you're starting fresh on day one, you might want to jump in with one of the 4 preset classes to get familiar with the variety of weapon classes for every artifact. These include the Aether Trooper, default assault rifle. Oh, so these are just the default class. So you got an SMG class, an LMG class, a shotgun class, and a rifle class, and it comes built in with a field upgrade. Of course, your starting weapon in any loadout will begin at the lowest damage level, white/unpacked. So you have to get to work on upgrades and finding other weapons as soon as the match gets going. Best of luck out there. So they really didn't clarify anything. So, oh, wait. That is one thing I'm noticing. Looking at this class setup here, we can get some information out of this. There is 5 attachments on this weapon. And you guys know in multiplayer, you were able to equip a lot more than 5 attachments. So I wonder if this is just, I don't see any dots for anything else. Maybe it's just because these are the pre-made classes. But I always assumed you'd be able to put all the attachments on like multiplayer. At least I hope that's the case here. Because if you can only put 5 out of the available attachments and multiplayer for normal lobbies get to put everything on, that's going to be a little lame. But yeah, it is what it is. We'll see when we get in game with that. A new experience with every match, and another twist to the Zombies formula. The gameplay space will now change throughout the match. Dark Aether barrier shrinks and expands. This means no 2 games should feel the same as you take 1 shift variations on core objectives at launch, Blit, Transmit, and Harvest. 1 minute you'll find yourself fighting for your life in a single quarter of Shinonuma, and the next you'll have access to both floors on the main hut. As the rounds continue, keep an eye on the barrier markers to designate a playable area for each objective, and make sure you don't get yourself cornered, and that's just the start. I like this. This is actually some pretty good news here. Outbreak's kind of boring because all the objectives are pretty much the same. When you transport one of the transport things, or you take one of the harvest trucks, all the locations for everything are pretty much the same every single match. Yeah, there's some different holdout objectives in each location, but it doesn't really change a whole lot. Limiting the areas you can go each and every game you play, and each time you go back there, it is going to add some additional like variety and content. I just don't know how much extra it's going to add. I don't know if that's really going to be enough to fully fill in the gaps that we need from what it sounds like they've cut out from the beginning. Because so far, reading through this, all this is Cold War with a lot of the content cut out of it. And I'm just, that's my honest opinion right now. Keep in mind that's completely due to change when I play it. And then next we have some information on season 1 and beyond. And this is another thing that, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of. As always, launch is just the beginning. Starting on December 2nd, new Zombies content and features will begin to roll out in Vanguard, including a new objective, additional covenants, new weapons, zombie seasonal challenge, holiday themed updates, and more. Players will also encounter some surprise elements later in the season. That one will for the main quest. This main quest will be tied to the arrival of an unexpected ally after season 1, which farther expands the narrative of the Dark Aether and reveal more details of characters, entities played thus far. And yeah, post-launch, the team will also add new artifacts and additional Aether entities to fight it and whatnot. But yeah, that is meaning we're gonna not have a main quest on launch. So not only does this seem like a just kind of watered down version of Cold War, they kind of took the tier system and took a lot out of it. Same thing with the perk system. There's not even going to be a main quest on launch, which yeah, so take that as you will. And that is pretty much everything. They've also released the main menu theme, which is pretty sick. I might have that playing as the background music for this video so you guys can get a taste of it. So yeah, with that, that is everything they released today. Like I said, there's a ton of information on this. We got a lot of information with all the mechanics in this game. Some stuff actually sounds super interesting. Some stuff's kind of concerning to me, and I'm not a huge fan of kind of the direction they're going with some of it, but who knows? We're not going to be able to tell till we get in game, and I'm hoping this game's amazing. I definitely don't want this game to be bad. I'm going to go into it on Thursday. And we're going to give it an honest review. I really do hope it is an amazing mode, though. The one thing that's the fact that we're not getting a main Easter egg quest at launch. This is going to be the first Zombies game since Black Ops 1, which released in 2008, to not have a main quest on launch. That's, yeah, I'm just going to leave that at that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.